Coming up on Mountain News this morning, protesters take to the streets across the country and in the Commonwealth after the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. And a Kentucky women's recovery home begins to pick up the pieces after a devastating fire.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Just before 6 o'clock on this Monday morning, I'm Dakota Makris. Thank you for waking up with us, and it's good to be back here. Let's take it over to Brandon for a look at our forecast this morning. Well, Brandon, I guess there's some rain in the region, or maybe moving out.
It is moving out.
Yeah.
Yep, but it's here. It's still kind of in the eastern sections of our region, not here in Hazard, but go a little bit toward the Big Sandy. You're going to see some pretty heavy showers out there at times, and we do have one active flash flood warning for a little while longer. Let's talk about that right now on live pinpoint Doppler radar. Go right to that, and we'll continue to show you the red box up there just south of I-64. That's parts of Rowland, Morgan, and Elliott counties there. So if you have any reports of flash flooding, I have not seen any active reports coming in here in the last few minutes from the National Weather Service. So if you see any of that, please pass those along to us there, and we will do our best to get those out to you. Some heavier pockets of rain in some spots, and some of those are approaching the Jenkins area there. Still dry for now. US 119, US 23 up that way going into southwest Virginia. Temperatures still pretty mild in most locations. 68 Pikeville, 69 Manchester and Jackson this morning, 68 Logan and Wayne, 72 though Somerset, Monticello, 61 in Clintwood, the coolest spot in the region. 81's our forecast high today. Average high is 84, nowhere near the record there of 91 set back on this day in 1986. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Well, activists took their message to the steps of the Kentucky Capitol as they gathered to protest the Supreme Court's abortion decision and the state's new restrictions now in effect. Jeremy Toms has more from the state capitol.
Following protests on Friday in Lexington were more demonstrations at the footsteps of the Kentucky State Capitol.
We're forced to do things in that hospital that our bodies go completely against.
Katima Smith Willis organized the rally and says the Supreme Court ruling appalled her, feeling that she's now at the bottom of the barrel in the Commonwealth.
I mean, I feel like I don't matter. I feel like here in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, me as a woman, I do not matter.
She pointed out the effect that the Dobbs v. Jackson decision could have on black women in particular. There's more reason to have their voices heard.
Black women have the highest mortality rate in death with bearing children. So I think that with Roe versus Wade being overturned and abortions being taken off the table here in Kentucky, that rate's going to increase. And I think more black women are going to die.
Smith Willis says she's aware that they will have to keep fighting this fight and that interest in this issue and others can't fade if they wish to enact change.
If they can dial the time back 50 years with this specific matter, imagine what else is going to be on the table when we're talking about the amendments and the Constitution.
That was Jeremy Toms reporting. Smith Willis says she understood state politicians wouldn't be at the Capitol with it being on a Sunday evening, but she hopes that the continuing coverage of people speaking up will send them a strong message. Here in the Commonwealth, protesters rallied in Pikeville on Sunday to voice their opinions against the Supreme Court's ruling to overturn Roe v. Wade. The protest was held in the old courthouse building and featured guest speakers like U.S. Senate candidate Charles Booker. Organizer Cara Ellis says they want their voices to be heard.
We honestly don't really know how to move forward with action, but we're hoping that a rally brings more awareness, and also that I know that generally when we think about something like that, it affects women, and of course it does, but we want to show that it also affects trans people. It affects many different people from different communities.
Protesters say by organizing their efforts, they can have their voices heard. Kentucky's trigger law immediately banned abortions except when it's needed to save the mother's life or prevent permanent injury. But what's stopping someone from simply going to a state that allows abortions? Well, as of right now, nothing. But that might not be the case in the future. Abortion is legal in Indiana up to 20 weeks. So for now, Kentucky women can still cross the river to get an abortion. Governor Andy Beshear and Attorney General Daniel Cameron disagree on Kentucky's trigger law.
There can be strong opinions on something like this, but the trigger law that the General Assembly passed goes way too far. It is an extremist law, and I think almost every Kentuckian would agree that especially victims of violent crime, rape, and incest deserve options.
We must continue to advance and advocate for legislation that stands up for the babies who cannot stand up for themselves. must commit to defending and implementing those laws. I, for one, will do my part in this role as Attorney General.
Because Kentucky is banning most abortions, many women will have to cross into other states that have the procedure. Indiana still has 3 providers in the state currently. 2 are in Indianapolis. A CBS News YouGov poll conducted in the immediate wake of the ruling found that most Americans reportedly disapprove of the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. The poll found that 59% of U.S. adults disapprove of the court's decision. Among women, 2/3 disapprove of the ruling. The poll also found that most Americans, 57%, now say they believe it's at least somewhat likely that the Supreme Court will eventually end or limit same-sex marriage. 55% said the court would also likely end or limit access to birth control and contraception. Well, we're looking at how many abortions were performed here in Kentucky. The Department of Public Health reports abortions increased from 2017 to 2020. In 2017, more than 3,200 abortions were performed. It increased yearly then on. In 2020, more than 4,100 abortions were performed. Lexington Women's Recovery Home is picking up the pieces after a fire damaged its building. The fire started in the kitchen on Friday at the Hope Center's Recovery Center, damaging the freezer and other appliances. Katie Vogel at the Hope Center says that they usually serve about 100 women 3 meals a day out of that kitchen.
There was certainly some tension when I was here last night because people just didn't know quite yet what the implications were going to be from this fire. But I also felt a sense of relief that no one was hurt, that everyone was okay, and that, you know, at that point it's replaceable equipment. All of our clients, all of our staff were unharmed, and we're very thankful for that.
Those with the center hope that the community will help by making financial donations or donating canned goods, drinks, or meals. Friday was an extra busy day for firefighters in Bell County. The volunteer fire department responded to 6 different calls. One was a large fire that brought in crews from other counties as well. They also responded to another fire, an ATV crash and a single vehicle crash. Fire officials say it was a record-setting day for calls they responded to. At a trail at the Red River Gorge was closed yesterday because of a small wildfire. Officials with Wolfe County Search and Rescue say the Shelter We Trace Pincham Tight Trail was closed between Rush Ridge Trail and Rough Trail. Hikers were asked to avoid the area due to the fire.
6:06, and we are tracking again some patchy dense fog across the region. Still a bit of rain as well, but let's focus on the fog this time around. You take a look at the map here and you'll see that we're seeing several areas at 5 miles of visibility or less. That includes Moorhead, Logan, Harlan, Williamsburg, Jackson, and Pikeville pretty close there. So again, be careful. That 5 miles is the threshold for dense fog out there. Some of that rain moving through parts of Pike County may be causing that lowering over that way. Mountain Parkway near the Wolf-Powell County line at Slade. No major issues up there right now. Looks like it has rained in the last couple hours. The road's still just a little bit wet. 61 Clintwood to 72 Somerset and Monticello. That's our range. A lot of folks near 60 or near 70 this morning, upper 60s in a lot of areas, but a couple of cooler spots over into Southwest Virginia, Southeast Kentucky, Harlan and Jonesville at 66, Wise at 64. 81 this afternoon, 20% chance of rain this morning, giving way to sunshine later on as that cold front pushes on through. Front clears out. It's going to take the rain with it, and we're going to see a nice couple of days before summer returns to wrap up the month of June. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Well, coming up next, thousands of pounds of baby formula make their way to the U.S. in hopes of easing the shortage. That's just ahead this morning.